working to learn more about how police caught up with Gaines today. A mother and father dead after a crash in Augusta over the weekend. A child in the hospital along with the driver of that car. The driver facing some charges. They're all from the same family. The wreck happening on Plantation Road in Augusta on Saturday.
The driver, Francis Porter Jr., now faces a list of charges, including DUI and vehicular homicide. Our Sydney Heiberger spent the day learning more about the victims and what led up to the crash.
The car was traveling east on Plantation Road, and you can see markings in the street and on the side of the road here show where Francis Porter Jr. allegedly lost control of the vehicle, swerving off the side and coming to a stop here at this tree, killing his long-term partner Stephanie and her father Steve. Porter told investigators a car traveling the opposite direction came into his lane and he swerved to avoid it. Deputies say he's at fault anyway. Porter's family tells me they were coming from his grandson's birthday party and he had a few beers. Porter and another one of his grandsons were taken to the hospital, and deputies say they'll take Porter into custody once he's out. Two of his daughters tell me it's a complicated situation, but they hold no resentment towards their father.
But that man's been in my life since I was 18 months old, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that he would have never intentionally hurt my mother, my grandfather, or my nephew.
We didn't find much of a criminal history for Porter, but he does have some previous traffic charges, including an open container violation from 2019. We'll go into that tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Reporting in Hepzibah, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
Update Sydney. Police reports say the child was not in a car seat. Family tells us he broke his hip. An Aiken daycare worker arrested for reportedly punching a 3-year-old while on the job. We are just learning about the charges Nicole Charleswell is facing after she was arrested March 26th. Police reports say she hit the child back in February at the South Aiken Baptist Daycare. The daycare's director reported it to police, telling officers this wasn't the first time she's accused of assaulting a child at work. Reports say the school put her on trespass notice.
Also this evening, we're learning more about what might have led to a car crash in Augusta that killed a couple of people over the weekend. A woman, her father, both dead, a 2-year-old in the hospital, all from the same family.
And unfortunately, we are learning today, police say the child was not wearing a seatbelt when that crash happened. The second survivor, who was the driver, faces a number of charges, including DUI and vehicular homicide. News 12 City Heiberger spoke with this family today.
What started as a family birthday party quickly turned into a nightmare. You can see flags on the ground and damage to this tree, telling a tragic story about what happened on the ride home. For sisters Destiny Story and Charity Porter, the grief is unbearable.
My mama was the backbone of our family. That was our rock.
Their mother, Stephanie Story, was killed when the car driven by her long-term partner, Francis Porter Jr., swerved off the road and hit this tree. Stephanie's father, Steve Leaptree, was also killed. But it's not just their loss. The family says they're mourning.
Not only has our dad lost his wife, his father-in-law, he's lost all his children because he's going to jail for vehicular homicide.
The family says Porter Jr. had a few beers at his grandson's birthday party before the crash. He's charged with DUI, child endangerment, and 2 counts of vehicular homicide. But according to a police report, Porter told investigators an oncoming car went into his lane, causing him to swerve off the road.
Our family just wants to have him here with us.
A case record search shows Porter has a few traffic tickets and a littering charge from more than 20 years ago. In 2019, he was cited for an open container violation, but was never arrested.
Instead of everybody wanting to know what happened and bashing our family or bashing my dad, why don't everybody show love and support?
The family says they hold pain and they hold grief, but they say they hold no anger or resentment. In Hepzibah, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
Our hearts just go out to that family. There are absolutely no winners in that story. Porter's daughter tells us he suffered a fractured neck and some broken ribs. They say the child in the car broke his hip. Deputies say Porter will be arrested once he's released from the hospital, and a blood test is pending.
Unbelievable images coming to us out of Aiken. The local